and welcome everyone. I'm your host Bansi Patel and you are listening to IIIM Talks. Today we have the honor of hosting Dr. Anna Zarkada, an esteemed Associate Professor of Integrated Marketing Communication at Cyprus University of Technology. With a wealth of experience in marketing and communication, Dr. Anna has contributed significantly to the field through her research, teaching, and industry insights. Today we will dive into integrated marketing and digital transformation and exploring her perspectives and insights. What is the one trend in marketing that business cannot afford to ignore in the present era, and why?
I think the problem is that there are no trends. There are a lot of buzzwords like digital marketing, social media marketing, marketing analytics, digital transformation, which we're going to talk about later on. But these are not real trends in the sense that they are not moving businesses, management science or marketing science forward. So what we're missing actually is we're missing these ideas that will take us one step further and that will make management and marketing more relevant in today's time. Because you see, the thing is, when I got into this, into marketing, and I first worked with advertising agencies, which was probably before your parents were even born, in the back, very far back in the previous century. In advertising agencies, the copywriters were all literature graduates. There were no marketing people. And then we emerged and we took the, I was one of the first generations in Europe to study marketing and to work in scientific marketing. So there were trends then. For example, we had relationship marketing.
Yes.
From the 4 Ps and all this focusing on the business, somebody had a brilliant idea of thinking that there are people there and we have to develop relationships with people. So this was a trend and it took the science forward. Another idea that worked quite well was the IMP work, the international or industrial, depending on which way you're looking at it, marketing and purchasing group, where they realized that there is no such thing as marketing because someone has to purchase. So you have to look again at both sides of the equation in business-to-business marketing. Now, there was a push in the beginning of the 21st century with service dominant logic. The concept that even the most basic of products is actually somebody's service to someone else. So, the idea of service dominant logic is that, say you take this bottle of water, right? The water in it costs absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
What you pay for, so what the value that is being exchanged, is the work, the idea of someone to put the water in the bottle, then the work that someone put into creating the machinery that brings the water or bottles it, actually. That because I drink a lot of water, so wherever I go, I know my waters. I have never seen water in purple before. It's usually branded in blue to look cold and fresh, in green to look ecological, in some childish colors, in small bottles like for children, purples and not purples, pinks and yellows. I've never seen purple before, but it works quite well. So this is the idea of service dominant logic, that everything really is a service, the work of somebody that put it there, made it, and whatever. Now this looked very promising, and we thought, okay, this is going to really take marketing forward. But then what it did was, with overemphasizing the customer, it resulted in the employee being squashed and squeezed dry to serve the customer. So what we need now is a new perspective. So I would hope that the idea of going past the amoral approach to marketing, believing that marketing people, all they have to do is make sure that they sell as many of these bottles of water as they can, without thinking of the consequences, that they do not have any responsibility for the fact that in my brief stay in India, which is now 3 days, I have probably contributed that much. If consider a bag of, rubbish, that much in plastic bottles that I've consumed. So it is my responsibility for drinking a lot of water. It is the responsibility of the manufacturers that make very small bottles. It is the responsibility of the government or whoever it is that you do not have taps that have running water that you can drink. So you just use one glass, you wash the glass and you reuse it and you create no rubbish. So these are the things I think that we have overlooked for a long time, and these are the things that we have to look at. The issue of responsibility. So our moral marketing is what we practice now. My job is to put some persons, you see these shoes over there?
Yes.
They have Michael Jordan with his ball
Yes,
and jumping up in the air. So I put a person's image on a shoe, and what would cost $5 costs $500. This is what we've been doing, and I believe we have to change it. My proposition is that we change the whole idea of marketing and we call it society, because we are here to facilitate people getting what they need to have a good life. So our job is to make it easier for people to find the things that they need, and serving the businesses, making the businesses come to the people is secondary. So I think we should refocus on that. And I think also we should take responsibility for everything that we do. So that means embrace and tidy up all our externalities. So I call this axiological society instead of marketing. I hope it will catch on eventually. It's been published in a book chapter so far, in a few journal articles. They seem to be going well with the academic community in the sense that people are downloading the chapter, it gets citations, but it has a long way to go before it actually becomes a trend, if it ever does. So, I hope we did have some trends, and that would help us a lot.
That's so great of you. The way you explain the ideas of marketing will be really helpful for students like us. So, how do you define the digital transformation in the present era, and why is it important today?
It is doing what we have been doing using some equipment. And you know what it reminds me of? I hear this, we had this discussion, we brought a colleague from the UK in my university to talk to us about using AI in marketing in general and in teaching and academia. And the whole discussion was how we can stop students from answering the questions using AI. So they put the exam question, the essay, the assignment question into ChatGPT, they get the answer, they send it to us, and that's the end of the story. And I think that the monks in the monasteries, the Catholic monasteries of the Middle Ages, must have felt the same when the printing press was around. So, Gutenberg comes and invents the printing press. And all these thousands of monks who transcribe the holy books by hand, they lose their jobs. They also lose the monopoly to knowledge, because they were the ones that read the original, transcribed it, so they knew what was in the scriptures, what was in the Bible. Then the printing press, by printing the Bible, everybody can read it, so everybody can have an opinion. And the knowledge spreads, and they lose their monopoly. And then, we had this discussion when I was in high school. The electronic calculators came out. Yes, and there was this discussion, we have to ban students from using electronic calculators. And who learns timetables now? Everybody has, we have them on our mobile phones, I have it on my watch. So my dyslexia, which is very bad, and when it comes to numbers, it's horrendous. is not a problem for me anymore because I can do all the calculations here. But this is not digital transformation in the same way that the printing press was just a machine. So this is what concerns me. We talk about digital transformation, but we're a long way. We are just taking what we have been doing for a long time and using a different type of machine to perform the task. Digital transformation will come when we really have Internet of Things. So we have fully smart homes, we have smart cities like Seoul, for example. You know, there's no discussion about who was at fault when there's a traffic accident in Korea, because by law all the cars have a dash cam. So everything, and you cannot turn it off. It's illegal to turn your dash cam off. So can you imagine what traffic would be here in this region if everybody had a dash cam and there were no U-turns and there were no illegal overcoming going into the other lane? It would stop. That would be digital transformation, however. So we're far away. So you needn't worry. And you shouldn't spend too much time, trying to figure out what digital skills you need to have. Like I see my students, they go and get all these Google certificates, and when you get a job, let your employer pay for it and pay for what you need, because these things come and go. We have them today, you won't need them tomorrow.
So you are saying that digital transformation skills are not necessary for us?
Well, you know how to use your mobile phone, don't you?
Yes, we know that, right?
That's fine. Can you use Word?
Yes.
Can you do the references for your assignments using Word?
Yes.
Okay. Can you build a macro in Excel?
Yes.
Okay. You have all the digital skills you need.
Yes. Okay.
Do you have Facebook?
No.
Instagram?
Yes.
Okay. Do you post?
Yes.
Do you pose for posting? Your selfies?
Yes.
Okay. You have all the digital skills you need.
Okay.
You're done.
Okay. So it really gives us a new way to think about digital transformation in the present era. So as students preparing to enter a rapidly evolving global workforce, what is key mindset or skills you believe that will be most crucial for us to thrive in the era of digital transformation?
I think you need to know your theory, because tools come and go. You see, you don't have Facebook.
Yes.
But my daughter, who's now 30 years old, she was the first generation to go on Facebook. So she was all day long, in the beginning. Then she got bored, moved to Instagram. My son is younger than you, doesn't have Instagram, only TikTok. He thinks Facebook is very boring because it's full of text and he doesn't like reading text. Instagram is boring because the pictures do not move much. So Instagram is for old people in his mind. TikTok is and then TikTok will go away. I mean, in the United States they're going to ban it anyway. So something else will come up, and then something else will come. So what you need to have is solid theoretical grounding. Know your consumer behavior, the theories, and follow up the theories. You will get your degree. The digital skills, whatever skills, your employer will give them to you. What your employer will not give you is an education. So you need to keep up with the journals to know the latest in theory in consumer behavior, new management theories that come along, new marketing theories that come along, plus the old ones. And I think the important thing for you at this time, because you will never have as much time as you have now.
Yes.
Once your life starts, you will have a job, you will have a family, you will probably have children, you will have commitments, all sorts of things going on. as you grow older, your energy becomes less and less, so you will not have too much enthusiasm for things. So now is the time for you to study history. The more you know about what happened in the past, the better you can predict what is coming. You see, what we're seeing now in Europe at the moment, and probably it will erupt in the whole world, but in Europe, what is happening is that they started a war with Russia. This is the third time. First it was Napoleon, decimated by the Russian winter, went home on his own. His soldiers all stayed in the Russian snow. Hitler, his campaigns finished on the door of Russia. Now they're trying it again. What is going to happen? Putin picked up the phone yesterday, the day before yesterday, Trump picked up the phone, talked to Putin. Putin keeps what he has. The war seems to be going to an end. Who lost? Europe. We are going back, we're doing the same things again and again. So if you know the history, you can stop seeing the same nightmare and you can change the world. Sociology. You need the basic theories to understand how people operate when they are in groups and how societies are formed. I had a very interesting tour of a temple yesterday and a very long explanation, very detailed explanation of what it was that I was seeing, the beliefs behind the gods, why this thing is this way, why the other thing is that way, and anything that has to do with spirituality and thought systems and belief systems. This is the time for you now to explore it. So first you understand your own religious background. Even if you're not religious, it doesn't really matter. It's not a matter of believing in something. It's a matter of understanding what people think, what people believe, what people value, and why they value it. So you need to get into, you're old enough and mature enough also to start studying philosophy. Gradually. You start with your own cultural roots and you expand with the ones closer to you and then to the ones different from you. And the final thing, of course, is travel. Every available penny you have and every available moment you have, out of here, as far away as possible. Get onto exchange programs, make time to meet people that come here, as we're doing now.
Yes.
And I think these are the things that we need, the basics.
Okay, so first we need to know about our history and culture and religion. That's the most important thing as your perspective.
Because in order to understand other people, you have to understand yourself, who you are.
Yes.
And you have to have your own identity clear in yourself. And then you understand other people. You understand your community, then you understand other communities. And if we talk it, in pure old-fashioned marketing terms, you have to know them to sell to them. And you have to know your employer to sell to yourself to your employer. You have to know your customer to sell to your customer. So,
totally agree with you. So thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your valuable insight with us today. And your expertise in marketing and digital transformation has given us a lot to think about as we prepare for the future.
Good. Thank you.
And we truly appreciate your time and perspective.
It's been my pleasure.
Yes.
And I've also had the most wonderful hospitality here. This is an amazing place. I've learned so much in 3 days. Well done.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.